welcome back to the Spooky Frog Horrifying Book Podcast. I'm Samantha.
I am Jeffy.
And we are talking about a book that I picked specifically for you, like I usually do.
Specifically,
even. We are going to do Brian Pinkerton's The Perfect Stranger. And the reason I picked this for you is because this is techno-horror.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, you like computers, right?
Somewhat. A little bit.
I think you should tell them the story about your very first computer.
Oh. I'm sure Dell still has me on the hit list.
They've got your picture up on the wall.
Yeah, if Dell is even in existence of selling computers in the way that they did in the past.
Probably not the same.
Yeah, probably not the same. So back in the day when you got Dell, when the Dell guy was out,
yeah.
I bought a Dell and I knew nothing about computers. I was probably like 16. I had never had a computer in the house. My dad's not a computer person at all.
I mean, this was also the, later 90s where it wasn't...
Right.
A lot of people did have computers in the home, but it wasn't like everybody had them.
It wasn't everybody yet.
No.
AOL was like popping up.
Right.
It was like, what's an AOL?
Yeah.
So, dude, I got a Dell and the first thing I did is I took it out of the box and I opened up the box like you're not supposed to. And I took every piece of it apart. I took literally the RAM out. I didn't know what RAM was. I took the hard drive out. I took everything out. And then I called the helpline that was part of the sale. You made that mistake, Dell. And then I called them up and said,
Dell.
Hey,
like your teenage foible.
They gave me an in. They gave it to me. So I took the phone, called them up on my landline that I had in my little
because none of us really had cell phones. I think I had a pager at that point.
At some point in time, I had a pager.
And then I kept getting I kept getting cell phones, and then my parents would take them away from me because I wasn't supposed to have them, and then I would keep getting more cell phones.
Yeah.
So because I was feral. Sorry, Dad. He's never watched this.
So I took everything apart, called the service line, and said, "Hey, how do I put this back together? This is on you now." And they said, "Do what? You did? I'm sorry, you did what?" And then we went over the next, I want to say like 2-3 hours about going through how to put the RAM in correctly and all that. And that's how I learned how to do a computer.
Well, and this is obviously there's no video conferencing.
No.
So this is all, hey,
Talking.
What does this piece of thing look like? And now imagine your CPU like box and everything and like where you would put it. Like I can't imagine how to describe how to do that to somebody.
Yeah, they ultimately said they wanted to send a tech out, and I'm like, no, we got this.
They were like, please let me send a tech out.
There's times in my life where I just roll a natural 20 in speech, and I don't know how.
You do this with parking though.
Oh yeah.
Parking is always, rock star.
The C's part for me when it comes to parking.
It is really bizarre. Like I will actually choose to ride with you even if it's inconvenient because I know that the parking situation will be taken care of.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm being very nerdy today, but when I'm looking at my character stat sheet, like in the area of like traits or luck, I have parking and sometimes the gift of gab.
Yes, that too.
And that's it.
He's very persuasive. Like I've seen you talk people into things they really didn't want to do, and by the end of it they thought that they wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And they're now your best friend.
Yeah.
So, which is always fun for me.
That's good. I like it.
But you're leaving me again.
I am leaving you.
Yeah.
Goth Barge, with the exception of Sam.
I have to stay and work, unfortunately.
Yeah, is going to be heading over to Tampa. And I'm going to butcher this once again. Ybor?
Ybor. Yes,
Ybor City.
Ybor
City.
What's funny is like I'm sad because I've been to Ybor. I love Ybor.
Oh, yeah.
And Paso Grill, which is a town that I spent a lot of time in as well when my folks lived in Florida. It's such a cute town and they had to repair everything after the hurricane. But I'm bummed that I'm going to miss it. But this is now the first time that Goth Barge actually gets to do Absolution Fest.
Yeah.
Because of last year's issues with
Yeah,
hurricanes.
with the hurricane.
And, we had to outrace a hurricane to try and get down there. Jeffy saved the day with a bunch of storm relief supplies.
Well, it was nice to put a foot on the ground for sure. We got derailed pretty hard. What's really odd is the hurricane hit at the exact point, at the exact time we were supposed to go on stage at that area.
Yeah, it's like it was purposely trying to not be nice to Goth Barge.
Yeah, mean.
Yeah.
Rude. Rude, Mother Nature. That was rude.
Yeah.
But we're back. And thank you, Mark, for having us back.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry I don't get to meet you.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been a few other years.
Yeah.
And it's been great every time that I've been. It's such a great culture, such a great community. And the area out there. I mean, Ybor City is like a shrunk New Orleans.
It's so cute.
Yeah. It's like 4 streets of New Orleans pressure cooked inside of Florida.
Yeah.
So it's like madness inside of crazy.
And then on the outside of that like main drag, so there's that main street that goes through Ybor. And then kind of off of where a lot of people have to park if they're just kind of walking around downtown, there's the Scientology building.
Yeah.
Which is super creepy.
If you
we can't talk about that because they will sue us.
Yeah, that's right. If you are ever in a city and you are unfamiliar, download the Atlas Obscura app.
Oh, it's so
and
good.
Hit the button of weird stuff near me and live your goddamn life.
Okay, but that worked out very interestingly for us, our first stop on the way down there. So we were under the impression, because you said that, I can't believe you forgot about this.
Well, weird stuff happens.
So we decided we were going to take advantage of the fact that our vacation plans got ruined. Our plans for Absolution Fest got ruined. We were still going to make the trip because of some, logistical reasons, trying to save a vacation. And Jeffy had some good storm relief things to do. But we decided on the way down, since we had the extra time, to stop at a couple places along the way that were just kind of roadside attractions. And I love a good roadside attraction.
Yes.
The first one was supposed to be a giant leg sundial.
Yeah.
However, it was not a sundial. It was just a big leg.
There were a lot of sundials there.
Well, okay, there were sundials.
There were a lot of sundials.
So...
They just might have been between legs. They were still technically sundials. I mean, they were just kind of waggy.
So we are driving for like a couple hours. I was driving at this point. We were in the middle of like nowhere, Indiana, because we had to get off the freeway to go to this place. It was like a couple hours out of the way almost. In the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
We were in the woods. There was gravel, like cornfields were going on for miles before that. Like the woods was actually a change of scenery, which was nice. So we pull up to this place where this leg is supposed to be. And we all get out of the car and Jeffy goes, it'd be really weird if this was a nudist camp.
Yeah, it just gave me vibes.
So it was a nudist camp.
It was a nudist camp.
So we get on the van and this lady comes up in this awesome TARDIS dress, which I very much appreciate. She's like, do you guys know where you are?
Hey!
And we're like, not really. We're here to see the leg. And she's like, okay, so this is a nudist camp.
Yeah, here's the thing.
She was very gracious. And then, she introduced us to the family that actually owns the nudist camp.
Yeah.
Which, they were just having lunch with their kids and everything. It was the off season. So they're like, well, not many people around. And then through talking, they're like, hey, do you want to see our boat? And we're like, I don't see water anywhere around here.
Right.
Where is this boat?
We're in Indiana, remember?
And they're like, oh, we just got to go through the woods. Why don't we go on the golf cart and we'll take you into the woods?
We're going to take you into the woods in the nudist colony.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're crazy.
So we said, okay. And we take this golf cart and we go deep into the forest. And there was a couple of residents that decided to make an appearance.
They sure did. They made an appearance.
The one that, like, if the sun reflected off of something and, blinding.
Yeah.
So anyways, the boat was just a decrepit old, like, boat shack.
It was a boat shack.
It was a joke. It was a joke. And
it was like a har, but we got you to drive around in our golf cart.
I mean,
which was awesome because they were awesome. They were legitimately awesome.
I was at one point concerned that we would get murdered because, like, this is how true crime stories and horror movies start out. Is like, oh yeah, we'll just march into the forest with these people we don't know.
And here's the bone that I have with that. All right, here's the moral of this story. The moral of this whole story is that when you're reading these books and you're reading these things and you're like, I would never do that.
You would absolutely do that.
You would. You are getting on the golf cart. You are doing it. You're doing the whole thing.
Well, so here's a good example. I had told Jeffy and the rest of the Goth Barge crew that right after we had left Alaska, at Exit Glacier, where we had just been on the trails, there was a bear attack. And it was just a couple hiking, and there was a bear attack. They're fine. They lived. They self-transported to the hospital because there isn't a hospital there. So you're not going to like wait for an ambulance. But, you know, you think about that, and I was like, well, we were just right there. And we weren't always, you know, they tell you to make a lot of noise. They tell you to stay in groups of 3 or more. There was just the 2 of us. And, you know, we tried to keep like jangly keys and everything, but I'm used to hiking very silently. Like in our woods here, nothing is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
You're fine. You got squirrels.
Yeah.
Maybe a raccoon.
Yeah.
And that's like it. And it was just like, oh, yeah, I could have gotten eaten.
Sure.
So it was like, all right. But that's a perfect example, though, of like, you don't think things are going to happen to you. But that's the fun of horror is like you can insert yourself into these situations. And as much as you want to yell and go, I wouldn't do that. Like, you know.
Oh, it could happen.
Sometimes you end up in heels running for somebody and you trip over a log at a very inconvenient time.
So. We're looking down the barrel of a very long October, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we have Absolution Fest.
Right.
And hopefully this year it doesn't get storm ravaged.
You know,
right? And I don't have to come in with those storm orders.
Right. I was watching the hurricane trackers and, you know, there was the one that had the 2.
Yeah.
They came up with a good name.
Yeah, Google that.
Yeah. And those,
hey.
It's not doing that anymore, but for like a day, there was like a perfect position where you're like,
Hello.
But that one swung that way. If we're thinking of like, you know,
Stormy Daniels.
Yes. She swung that way.
Yeah.
Oh, the most qualified person that he's ever hired. But no, you're going to be okay. I checked the weather. I'm going to take care of things back at home. So
it's rain, I think, but I mean, it rains in Florida. Yeah, it rains every 10 minutes.
Rain where it's like you get that like hour of rain around like between 1 and 3 p.m. and then it stops and everything dries up again.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way
we got the cutest bungalow down there.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, it's going to be so good. And then following up, we have Spooky Frog Book Fair.
Before that, though, we have Cleveland.
Do we?
Yes.
We do. Okay. I don't know how to read a calendar. Again, I don't know how to read.
Yeah, this is becoming a problem. We should get you. Remember Hooked on Phonics?
Oh,
get you some of that. So.
Well, I mean, bear with me. I am still, like last week, I was sleepy.
Well, yeah.
This week, I am very sleepy because yesterday I had a sleep test to figure out why I can't sleep.
They do that differently now too, right?
Yeah, it's at home and you're like applying your own stuff and you're your own nurse. But like, that's fine. I don't mind being my own nurse.
I would rather be at home for something like that.
Yeah.
I can't sleep in weird places sometimes.
Well, I couldn't sleep at all with that machine on either.
Yeah, was it making noise?
No, it's silent, but you have to put it on you and you have to wear this big honking thing and then you've got like a finger thing on you.
Oh, so you're just...
So every little bit I'm like, why is stuff on me?
Just kind of jarring you awake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was no fun. But, okay, so we got Cleveland boat. Big Cleveland boat.
Oh, yeah, the Lady
Blood
Caroline
Barge.
is a gorgeous boat, too.
Oh, yeah,
so
3-decker?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-decker.
Yeah, that one's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Blood
Barge.
Blood Barge. Oh, yeah. Vampire Blood Barge out in Cleveland. If you're in Akron, if you're out in Columbus.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, anywhere over there, please come out.
Midwestern way ever. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Midwest came out of
it. And then I'm also very excited for
Yes, then the book
Spooky
fair is
Frog
on the 18th
Book
of this
Fair.
month. So very excited. The numbers are looking very good.
Oh, yeah.
My authors are getting super excited. My vendors are getting super excited.
Yes.
And I can't speak enough to how amazing the people are that are vending or are authors at these events. Like, they actively want to engage with you. And it's really common for them to, if you come up to their table and go, I'm not sure which one of your books might be for me, if any of them, they will actually go, well, okay, what types of horror do you like? Do you like vampires?
Right.
Do you like, like a dystopian? Do you like cozy horror? And then they will direct you to the correct book that they kind of match you up with. And sometimes just, hey, you know what? Nothing I have is really like that, but over there, that's where you can get exactly what you want. Which
And
is
that's
so
the
cool.
beauty of this community, right? I mean, you not only your front face and center with the actual authors, you have people in the community that want to help. They're such just a friendly bunch.
Well,
I am always having a good time when I'm out there.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, and I'm not even just talking about the authors. I'm talking about the people.
Well, yeah, the guests are always amazing.
Yeah.
And they're so sweet, and they're so happy to be there. There's so many people that traveled up from Chicago or from Madison to come to one of these things because there hasn't been a large-scale book fair like this put on in our area, and especially not horror bent, because horror, I mean, sometimes you don't even find a section for horror. It doesn't even have a place to go. It gets mashed in with thrillers.
Right.
And it's still very much looked down upon, which, like, naive me had no idea.
Sure.
So I was just like, la, 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 here's this thing I like. Had no idea that it's still a little bit taboo.
Sure.
Just totally unrealizing. And a lot of the authors are very accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've got people that are Splatterpunk nominees, Splatterpunk award winners. We've got people that are in the Horror Writers Association, Bram Stoker nominees and award winners in the group that's going to be here. And I'm sure I'm missing tons of different awards that people have, won and accumulated as well. Some of them have been involved in film as well. So, like, Jason Davis started the Chicago Horror Film Festival, which is amazing. And now he doesn't do it anymore, but he started that. So it's like the people that are coming that you can interact with are super accomplished, but then also super accessible. And, like, that's super cool. And then interspersed with that, we have these super talented vendors, crafters, artists, like, and they're really, really awesome. Like, they're happy to tell you about how they make something or how they, thought of something or a piece of art. Everything from jewelry to tarot, like custom handmade tarot cards. We've got plants. We've got some stuffies.
Oh, I love that.
I love a stuffy. I'm a big stuffy person.
There was a stuffy that Gizmo got a hold of and totally tore apart. Little Gibbo. Little good man, shout out for Gibbo. But he got a hold of, I had a Creature of the Black Lagoon, but it was just his head.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like beanbag on the bottom. If I can ever find that again, I would just cry.
Somebody help us find that. If you know where it is, let us know.
I'd love to find. I don't know who the creator was.
Right.
Yeah.
I swear I've seen something similar online.
Yeah, it was at one of the local craft fairs from Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've got somebody that does stuffies, so maybe she would make you one. So
I should find some photos.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we've got a new tote bag, actually.
Hey.
So got a new merch item.
Tote?
So the only way you can get this is if you come to the book fair, but we've got a new tote. So yay. So put all of your books in there that you buy at the book fair. Cool tote. That'll be at the Goth Barge merch table because I'm going to be too busy to sell those.
Yeah. I will be hawking gear. Please come over. Say hello.
Yeah, say hi.
If you've seen this podcast, I would love to talk to you, and you can tell me why I'm an idiot. You can tell me why can't Jeffy read.
If you want to tell Jeffy he's an idiot for free that day, you can sign up for our Patreon.
Yeah.
And then you get in for free to the book fair.
Yeah.
So, and then you can yell at Jeffy all you want.
I love that.
Or tell me why I'm wrong or mispronounce something.
I need to get a shirt that
totally
says,
fine.
Why can't Jeffy read?
Oh my gosh.
It'd be like a play off of the Why Can't Tori Read?
Yeah.
And if anybody understands that Tori Amos reference, I might be dating myself quite a bit. and also like riot girling myself out a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm
Totally
here for
like
it. Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Cindy, so DJ Cynthia, she's going to be helping you out with the DJ festivities of the day. And she's super accomplished in her own right. Like she's got a huge following across the whole country. I think she's got international fans as well.
Oh, yeah.
For her Twitch streams.
Yep.
We just danced to her stuff last week at Mad Planet. It was amazing. Every single time we tried to leave, we'd look at each other and go like, okay, just after this song.
Yeah.
And then another song would come on and go, okay, well, after this one.
Yeah.
And then it kept going like that for like an hour. And then it was, okay, finally we found like a break where we could actually say goodbye to everybody. But she's amazing. She was just telling me about working out the playlist for that. So I'm really excited to, kind of see what she's thinking and get some insights. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
She is definitely a custom tailor style DJ.
So curated.
I have so much respect for what she does. I love working with her. So it's always a pleasure to be able to work with DJ Cynthia.
Yeah. So that's going to be amazing too. I'm super excited. And this author will also be at the book fair.
Oh, hey.
So,
wait, are we gonna talk about a book?
We might.
Oh, geez.
We might. So,
gee willikers. That's what I came for.
We could literally fill up hours of just not talking about it.
Oh, this could be B-roll of us just talking about the germane things that happen in our lives.
Yeah.
Just sprinkled in with some madness. Absolutely.
Only a little madness.
Yeah, a little madness. It's enough.
But Brian Pinkerton, he's been with me from the start of Spooky Frog. He's a very, very accomplished author. He's got several books. This one I picked up from him last year, and he was nice enough to just give this to me, which was so sweet. And it's a hardcover, so it's super, super cool. Very, very excited. Going to bring it kind of up to the...
Oh, there it is.
Here we go. So
there it is.
This is techno-horror, and I say techno-horror, and he wrote it.
Oh.
Because it is a modern take on maybe like a robot story from years past when we didn't have computers. So, and luckily enough, too, I was able to talk to Brian briefly. He was on vacation when I contacted him, so he sent me some information, but about like how it started. But it's so relevant to our times right now. And I thought you would be interesting with this one. I'm going to trigger you. I'm going to trigger you. So the premise of the story is that there is Linda, and she works in public relations. So communications for a large company. So she's used to like dealing with press releases. If something goes wrong, she does the press conferences and everything, figures out the message, and she is very analog. She knows all the rules. She, is just very accomplished in her own right. She's been doing this forever. She has an employee that up and quits on her. And she's trying to interview. There's a lot of pressure from her boss to hire very quickly. And that speaks to my heart. And so she hires this person who looks absolutely fantastic on paper. And this is during the time where no one's really in the office anymore. This is a totally remote workplace because this actually takes place during COVID. Which is fantastic, just because I like kind of seeing how that has influenced art. So they do a virtual interview. Everything goes fantastically well. Allison is the new employee. She gets hired immediately, and she's already amazing. But she's a little too amazing.
Sure.
And as time goes on, there's a question of...
A little too Raph.
Yes. So the question becomes, is Allison real?
Sure.
And what are Allison's intentions? Because it's not just, is she real? It is, why is she doing certain things? What is her end goal? Like, why is this going this way? So especially in the era of deepfakes and, a lot of feelings about AI, this was definitely very prescient. And I thought that like you would kind of appreciate kind of a different thought process around this where it deals with people. So when I talked to Brian about it, he was talking about how he got inspired for this because he was originally in office all the time, like we all were. And then he moved to a, remote type capacity and hiring people that they'd never met in person from all over the world. I have done that too, where I've talked to people that I will never see in person. And there's some issues that can come up with that. And I've had to deal with those too, where sometimes the person you're talking to isn't the person who's actually doing the work, or is not the person who, you originally interacted with. And so there's some fraud in that area too. But he noticed how not only did the human interaction change, but also the workplace changed around it. And there was a downsizing of the size and the amenities of a workplace. So he started off with like a beautiful big office in Chicago. It was on Michigan Avenue with a view of the lake and the Art Institute. Super cool. And then as time went on, the cubicles started. And you get the cube farms, and then those walls shrunk, and then you kind of get this amorphous thing, and then you get the totally remote work. And I'm a fan of remote work. I'm hybrid. I love being hybrid. It is one of the ways I can focus more because I get distracted by people coming and talking to me, and I need to have a lot of conversations for what I do. So being at home a couple days a week is great. But what he noticed is that, there's a different way that people interact now. Different rules, different subtle social cues. And so the idea was, hey, what if you accidentally hired somebody who wasn't actually real?
Right.
So I just thought it was such a unique take. And then as I was going through and reading this book, it stressed me out. And it's not that I'm opposed to
this
technology.
is very much...
Here's where Jeffy gets to talk about technology.
No. Actually, I'm going to talk about you a little bit. You're a recruiter. So this really must hit very home.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be a good intersection of that and then,
the technology piece.
Right. Yeah. So I thought it was a good mix for us. But
it's not necessarily as rage baity as it used to be for me.
Right.
You still have people that are very up in arms about it.
Yeah.
I understand the global impacts of it. There's a lot that's happening to make these giant farms to, do this generative AI. But that's what this is. It's generative first.
Right.
Then AI.
Yeah.
It's not actually, artificial
people don't
intelligence.
Understand what actually AI is versus LLM.
It's large model generation.
And there has been some problems with that too. And Brian was, unfortunately one of the authors that was affected by some illegal activities to scrape their works to train.
Mm-hmm.
And since their work is copyrighted, it isn't legal to do that. So there's some things going on with that. So that plays into things. So there are some bad actors in the realm too. But we've had to so rapidly adapt to the LLMs. I remember when I was working for my last company and ChatGPT came out for the first time. And we dealt with a lot of technology. And so it was like, oh, there's something new. And so quickly did it jump from a very limited capacity to now this is part of our everyday lives.
Yeah. And I think that's what drove people to really panic.
Yes.
But also we're about to break the bubble. The bubble's about to break.
Yeah.
And it's gonna impact us just like it did with the .com bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's a lot of money being put into AI right now.
Oh yeah,
like too much money.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things where if you follow the money, you know where the bubble's going to go. And the .com bubble came, it burst.
Yeah,
it caused a lot of chaos. A lot of these companies are going to fold.
Yeah,
especially those ones that are, I forgot what they call them, but it's basically a shadow where they're just licensing ChatGPT, but then they're
right.
like putting like some sort of veneer over it.
Yeah.
I forgot what those types of companies are called, but like there's a lot of those, and they're trying to just use. Even in my day-to-day project management work, the forces that be are like, we need to get AI in here. See, we need to get AI in here right now.
But
see,
they have no idea what that means.
And so these companies are making hand over fist by just saying, yeah, we're AI. Yeah, Here we are. We're doing it. We're doing the AI thing.
But they're really not.
And they're like, yeah, hire them. And people don't even know what it is or how it works. Or, it's literally just they've gotten computers to communicate better so that they can search larger models of text.
Yes.
And they're going to get better and better and better and better, but it's no replacement for a human.
Right.
It might augment a human.
Yeah.
You might be able to have a human that does their job faster, quicker, better, etc. But I mean, all these companies that are investing in all of these things to remove these jobs are very soon going to find themselves hiring the same people back because the AI is unable to perform the things that they actually need them to do.
I'll give you
someone still needs to put the prompt in.
Right. Well, and I'll give you another example. So a very impactful project that I worked on with another job that I had was trying to do full testimonies of Holocaust survivors so that they could have like a 3D model in a museum that you could interact with. Problem with that and trying to use a technology that is not human-based is they found they could not actually interpret Hebrew.
Sure.
Because there are such subtleties that the technology, at least at the time, could not differentiate. And there's so much context involved because a word that is exactly the same as another word means something completely different when it's in a different context. And the technology just wasn't there to actually be able to interpret that. So they could use an interpreter that was a computer-based interpreter only so far. And then they needed a human who actually knew the language to actually do some of the interpretation.
I mean, I don't want to go down a rabbit's hole on this, but I mean, you can even look at the Bible, and humans don't even do a very good job of translating the Bible.
And they use it for their own devices and change things.
You can really get into the nitty-gritty in the Bible and say, did that mean prostitute?
Right.
Or did it not?
Right, exactly.
And so in the King James Version,
we know how the King James Version came about, too.
Right, and we can get into that. But then some ICE agents are going to find their way in here, so we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because there's this promise of automation that also happened during the Industrial Revolution. So when you got the cotton gin, even when you got vehicles versus horse and buggy, we have these transitional states, but the pace at which it is happening has gone so rapidly that you and I came from a completely analog childhood to a completely digital, I mean, what we're doing right now, adulthood, and the rapidity at which it is going, the pace at which it's going, is kind of hard for people to adapt to.
Oh, yeah, it's panic striking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so a lot of jobs are being currently rendered obsolete because they have an automation version, but what we're seeing is not only that you need the human element, but what's happening is the automation is taking care of those very basic functions, and those functions used to happen by entry-level employees. Without those entry-level jobs, you don't have entry-level people able to enter the marketplace. And then B, how are the people coming in going to actually learn the processes by which you make decisions?
Well, that's when
problem solves.
But that's just when my personal feelings
to adapt, but
exactly that is that the bar is going to move.
Correct. And that's where I was going with that too.
Exactly. And the bar is going to move. Entry level is now going to be here instead of here. You're not going to have to dig ditches in order to get in. You're going to start in an actual useful position. And you're just going to have to adapt to that kind of environment.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I think the reason that our generation didn't actually panic about this is because we've seen the world change overnight so many times. So many times. The internet, like you were saying, cell phones, all of this stuff just becoming very accessible to in changing your world overnight. This is very normal for us.
Yeah.
But for the newest generation, I mean, when's the last thing that came in that really broke everything open?
Yeah.
Not the internet.
Right.
They had cell phones. They had an internet. They were getting better.
Right.
But there was no major shift.
Right. I remember when Google first came out, and I was like totally against it because I wanted to say, I'm not going to Google it. I want to see if I can recall this information myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the big thing. Yeah. You can't have Google because it's going to make everybody dumb.
Right. And that's what, and they are finding that there are some impacts of overusing, like a ChatGPT where, you aren't practicing. Because
we've
you're not
only had
practicing the skills.
we've only
and so
had
you
this
get
for
not
2 or
good at
3
them.
years.
I'm talking people that are using it for every mode of communication, every text message, every email they send, every correspondence, every
I like
report.
that we have a book that we can actually like lean to and say we're not just yelling at each other.
Yes. But it is, you get out of practice if you're not actually using your brain to think about how you want to word things.
I don't know. I think you bring up a very good point about the Google and the Yahoos. Because when Google and Yahoo were out, they were like, people are just going to get dumb and they're going to ask Google for everything and they're never going to remember anything. And none of that ever happened. You know,
No, what
your
happened
teacher
was we just
told you.
unfunded the education system.
Right. That's going to do it.
We just stopped educating people.
That'll do it.
Yeah. So
there we agree.
Yes.
And not that we're disagreeing.
Right.
But like, you know, this is the same debate of like, our teachers told us when we were coming up before cell phones existed, well, you're never going to have a calculator on you.
I'm terrible at math. And so they used to always yell at me.
So they'll say, hey, you got to learn it because you won't have a calculator on you. Everyone has a calculator. I can actually yell at the speakers in my home to ask them math. Like I don't even need to get the phone. I can lay in my bed in a prone position and just ask for all the math I want.
You know what's hysterical to me is that if we had somebody from the past, like way, way back, come to the future and talk about or see this, they would think that we have just knowledge ghosts.
Yeah.
Like weird knowledge ghosts that impart their wisdom to us.
Yeah.
And it's really wild to me. And it's just, our generation has just adapted so much. And I think an older generation has a little bit harder time with that. And then a younger generation also does. So, but that's what's so great about this story too, is that, you know, it's covering sort of that transition and some of the questions. It's also just a really good story. Again, like I was stressed out the entire time I was reading it because Allison isn't like always nice.
Sure.
And we get into how different things are hacked.
Computers aren't nice or mean.
Well, this one has maybe some different motives. And who's it being controlled by? Is it being controlled by someone?
Sure.
What is going on there? And so and you really don't learn until like the end of the story kind of what really is going on. And then things go even more nuts. And it's just like, but like not just the technology horror, but it's the workplace horror that really got me. Because I am a just naturally stressful person. And I always like panic whenever like I make a mistake or if I think something's going wrong. Like I'm really take it hard. And so some of the events in this book where things are happening to Linda, the main character, and it's so stressful because I would panic in just the same way that she does when some of these things start to happen because there's no getting away from it. It's there. And it affects your day-to-day life and people's impressions of you. And not to give too much away of the story, but there is a portion of the story where she basically gets doxxed.
Sure.
And that's terrifying too. And, you know, brings up the whole thing with deepfakes. We very recently this week, or maybe last week, saw some deepfake things that were not great. So, you know, from official channels. But it does bring up how do you tell what's real or not? And I think that's a good question for our age and for moving into the future too. So,
well, that flips my argument on its head too, which is sometimes I can't tell if it's fake or real.
Right. It is hard to tell sometimes.
But the youth knows.
The youth are very good at this. Oh yeah, they're like, that's AI.
Immediately.
Well, you know, even at home, I'll be showing
and good.
I'll be showing the boyfriend a video and
he's like, oh my God.
He'll actually send it to me and I'm like, you know that's AI, right?
Yeah.
So I catch on a little bit quicker than the younger generation catches on even quicker. But you know, when I was talking to Brian about this, he said that, you know, it really speaks to the struggles of a lot of people that struggle with the technology and how it's taking over every aspect of our lives. And that does make a lot of people panic because it's a loss of control.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they understand it. They don't feel like they're in control of it. And so that produces a lot of fear, especially when, you know, you get...
But how much control do you have?
Well, right. And that's where I was going with this, especially when you know, let's say work for a giant corporation where you work in a very siloed environment as just a little cog and you're not really, you know, in the full picture. and you don't really know most of the people in the company, and it can really kind of drag you away from a feeling of purpose when you're just like this one tiny little speck.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's why I liked the book. So
Sure.
I like things that stress me out sometimes in
Sure.
book form because
Yeah.
because if it's happening here,
It's a controlled environment.
right? It takes me away from when I'm stressed out in real life, and I think horror does that in a good way. Like I will read horror before bed, and I will watch horror movies before bed, and the reason being is it relaxes me. And I know that sounds really stupid, but it relaxes me because I tend to be an anxious person, and being scared by something else for a little while is really nice. It's like a little scared vacation where it turns my brain off for a little bit, where I can get absorbed in a story. I can get frightened by something and the jump scare and you laugh and it's all exciting. And then I'm not thinking about whatever I'm being anxious about, and I can actually go to sleep. So,
I mean, it's proven.
yeah, it's relaxing. Horror is relaxing. So, if you want to get a good night's sleep, but some of the movies this year have not made me fall asleep for a good reason, more just for a bad reason because they were bad. Did you?
Yeah, we watched a pretty rough one last night.
Did you? And people are gonna hate me for this. Some people are gonna hate me. Some people are gonna agree with me. Have you seen 28 Years Later yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Just turn that movie off 5 minutes before it ends. You'll have a much better experience.
I thought the entire experience was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. There's some things that I have complaints about. Like,
I was not blown away.
I was not blown away. And please just turn the movie off 5 minutes before it ends, because that's no, thank you. Nothing made me not want to watch the next movie as much as the end of the first one. But there's been some great ones. And then it's funny. So we went to some old movies because after coming back from Alaska, we wanted to just watch some Alaskan movies. So we ended up watching On the Frozen Ground, which is a Nicolas Cage movie, which I love Nicolas Cage movies. John Cusack is in it. And it's just funny because everyone thinks it's a terrible movie.
I would have loved
I liked it better than 28 Years Later.
Yeah. I would have loved to have been out in Alaska in Frozen Land watching The Thing.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a tradition at some of those Arctic outposts.
Yeah.
Or outposts, is that they watch The Thing right before they close the doors and everyone leaves. And
that's awesome.
That's really cool.
I would love to do that.
What's your favorite version of The Thing? Which one?
I mean, the most well-known one. I mean,
yeah. Kurt Russell?
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Okay, I love Kurt Russell and his luscious mullet.
Yeah, I mean, how do you distinguish them?
The original is classic just because it was very groundbreaking.
Sure.
But I'm with you. That one is the correct one.
Yeah. I mean, the effects. The effects
that
were just,
too. Yeah.
I mean, that they are so long-standing and deep in our culture now. They're in the blood.
Oh, yeah. The references are fantastic.
Yeah.
But
you can always tell when you got The Thing reference going on.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving even Target coming out with Return of the Living Dead.
Right. Yeah, that's coming way back.
Blind packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. I want them to come out with The Thing.
This is nostalgia
packs. I don't think we're going to get
Target,
any of that.
Please give us this.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Target's totally
but I would love to see this. I couldn't believe, I almost went to Target to get some of these.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
I went for 3 years without going to a Target. Because I just never go to a Target.
You know what? I love their produce. Their produce section is great.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't
I'm
bad.
a big fan.
Right
now, Aldi is really doing. They're doing
They're
really
doing
well
really
with their
good
produce.
business. I end up at Outpost a lot. It's the local co-op, and I love them. And it's more expensive, but it's also very convenient.
The produce in Aldi, I always thought was shoddy. I always thought it was shoddy.
Outpost
but
never
now
was
they're
shoddy.
really coming
They've
back.
gotten better. They've gotten a lot better.
These grapes that they have, right? These autumn crisp grapes.
We're just going to talk about food for the rest of the night.
These autumn crisp grapes are something to write home about. I mean, seriously, they're phenomenal. All right.
I like grapes too. But we're running out of time. Check out The Perfect Stranger by Brian Pinkerton. He's got tons of other books out. He's got one on our bookshelf here that I'm going to search for because I got to crane my neck.
It's over here somewhere.
He's got a short story coming out in a cool anthology called The Motel Sick, which I think is super cool. And he's started his next novel as well called The Grid, which is a science fiction terror thriller. So I'm excited to check that out too. I was super impressed. I've been meaning to read this since he gave it to me. And I'm so happy that I finally got to it because I loved it.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to everyone sending their hate mail about AI.
Do it. Yeah, so send that to Jeffy.
Yeah.
Specifically to Jeffy.
You son of a... destroying our culture as we know it. You bastard.
Before we go, our next book, next week, we're going to do Killer Lake by two of my favorite people, Bill Gagliani and Dave Benton. And I'll tell you a little bit more about them next week when we do this because there's some local connections there as well, which I really like. But we've got a cult. We've got all sorts of creepy lake stuff going on.
Stuff.
Oh, I love a cult. It would be, you know what? I don't have to make decisions in a cult. That would be really relaxing for me.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to...
Delicious Kool-Aid.
Right. Absolutely. Flavor Aid. Actually,
flavor to the devil.
Well, it was actually both. That's it for us. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.